biomechanics of breathing so that we can allow as much space as we need in the ribs, in the lungs, to actually then create that smooth, fluid, efficient breathing. So we'll work on the biomechanics. We'll be standing for the first part of the session, and then towards the end of the session we'll do some seated, just really focusing on the biochemistry, getting that right balance of oxygen and CO2, bringing our body into rest and recovery and restore, getting our mind focused and set up for the day. So let's start off shaking. So just heels into the ground, let the body shake, creating vibration. Shake the wrists, really feel energy through the body, get that circulation going, get things moving through the body. And what we can do is we can use the breath almost like in Qigong they call it like a clearing breath, or you can think of it as a releasing breath. And that breath is out through the mouth, but it's a controlled breath. It's not a flat breath or a deflated breath. So we're breathing in through the nose, full of breath in, and let go, just clear any tension. And again, in through the nose. You can make it almost like a sigh out. So in through the nose. And just slow it down. And you might feel that nice tingling sensation through the hands and the legs and the feet. And just take a moment now just to keep the lips lightly together. Keep the jaw relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. Let the breath settle. Now you're just breathing easily in and out through the nose. So again, everyday functional breathing is breathing the right amount of air that your body needs for what you're doing at that moment in time. So if we're just letting the breath happen, letting the body breathe naturally, we're not guiding the breath. And in functional everyday breathing, you breathe in and out through the nose as much as possible. Again, just Google the benefits of total nasal breathing. Warms and humidifies the air, clears bacteria, viruses. Nasal nitric oxide opens up the airways. If we're breathing out through the nose, you almost like get a fold back of oxygen going back into the body. You don't dry the mouth out so much, but when we're doing intentional out breaths for a specific purpose, there for like clearing, letting go and releasing, that's all great as long as we know why we're doing it. So we're going to do another clearing exercise practice. So this time you're going to slide the hips back, let the arms float up, go onto the ball of the feet, and then just let go. You just whoosh that air out. Little bounce at the bottom. And then again, arms float up, balls of the feet, let go. So it's clearing out. Let's do 2 more like that. Arms float up, balance, and let go. Just let the arms swing. Completely release everything. Arms float up, balance. And then again, just come up to standing. Bring the feet a little bit closer together, so you're most probably going about hip width apart. Just rest your hands on your belly. Now this area in Qigong, Tai Chi, is called a lower Dantian, seen as a reservoir of energy, a physical energy center. So now we're just going to focus on this area. And it's just an awareness. So I want the breath to be easy, natural. So you're not actually doing anything, but you're just thinking about bringing the breath down to this area. But just following your natural breath. So not doing anything. It's great as a coach just to ask your clients or your group, don't do anything. Just be aware. And what you may notice is that as you breathe in, the abdomen just goes out a little bit. As you breathe out, it just settles back down a little bit. But I don't want you to actually belly breathe or do any work with the abdominal muscles, just be aware. And why that is happening is because the diaphragm, which is detached around the ribs and in 3 dimensions across the body. So the diaphragm goes across the body. As you breathe in, the diaphragm drops down a little bit, which then displaces the tummy a little bit. But obviously when you're standing, you are not letting the stomach rise and fall as if you would do when you are lying on the ground. Nor when you're standing do I want you pulling and tightening the belly, because then you're just restricting the breathing, you're creating tension. And we don't want to over tense the body or over stress and strain the body when we don't need to. And in a comfortable standing position, just allow the breath easily deep into the body. Now just pop the hands on the sides of the ribs. So feel around the lower ribs, stick your thumbs into the back of the ribs here. And again, just paying attention to the breath. So all we're doing at this first point is we've released any excess tension, move the body a little bit, and now we're just breathing, allowing our body to breathe naturally. And what you may notice here is just very subtly as you breathe in, those ribs just swing out to the side, out to the back. And as you breathe out, they just settle back, relax back down. So now we're just going to add a little bit of guidance. Give the arms a little bit of a shake if your shoulders are tensing. What we don't want to do is create tightness in the shoulders here. So give your arms a little bit of a relax, a little bit of a rest. Give the knees a little bit of a wobble, the feet a little bit of a shake if you need to, just a little bit of rotation if you want to. Then bring the hands back on the ribs. And now we're going to guide the breath. So we're going to increase the volume. We're going to slow the breath down, increase the volume. We're going to add a little pause at the top of the inhale, and then we're going to do an active exhale. We're going to use a mouth exhale, but it's almost like you're blowing out a candle. I'll demonstrate first and then we'll do it together. So you breathe in and let the ribs swing out. You pause, a couple of counts, and then almost squeeze those ribs in. Watch that we don't create tension in the shoulders. So you're not breathing vertically, you're breathing horizontally. You're really filling the lungs and expanding those ribs out to the side and out to the back and a little bit out to the front, breathing horizontally across the body rather than pulling all the breath up here and pulling the belly in. The belly goes in, or those lower abdominals go in as you blow the candle out. So let's do 3 of those. So get yourself comfy, balanced, and we'll do in. Full breath in, hold a couple of counts, and again, full breath in. Get those ribs swinging, pause for a couple of seconds, and then one more full breath in. Pause for a couple of seconds and see if we can extend that exhale a little bit. And then just let the arms rest by the side. So we want to slow the breath. We're breathing an increased volume of air, but what we don't want to do is do that too much or over breathe. So just to counterbalance that, what I'd like you to do is let the breath settle. Now we counterbalanced it to a certain extent because we did a pause at the top of the breath. What I'd like you to do is pop your hands again across the lower abdominals. Let the breath settle. And we'll do a normal breath in. Normal breath out. And let's just extend the pause at the end of that normal breath out. So just maybe count for 2 or 3 seconds. And then breathe again in and out through the nose. So all of this is in and out through the nose now. This is just a relaxed, easy, natural exhale. The body just exhaling naturally rather than you guiding an active exhale. It's a very different type of exhale. Let the breath settle a couple of breaths, and then we'll do that extended pause again. So just a normal breath in, normal breath out, and just count into your head the end of that normal out breath, maybe 3 to 1. 3, 2, 1, and then breathe. And I'll just give you half a minute or so just to settle into this stillness of that extended pause at the end of your natural out breath. And you'll notice maybe at the end of that natural out, extended pause, at the end of that natural out breath, that the body takes in a slightly bigger volume of air. So that's fine. That's fine. Just allow that rib cage to expand. And then just bring the arms to the side and take a little rest. Let's work on some movement just to get the spine mobilized. So simple movement based on Qigong style movements, and the idea of these movements is that they're strong and they're powerful, but they're not forced, and they're very smooth and they're very fluid. If we're moving with smoothness and fluidity and grace, we can still be very powerful. It's much more powerful to see someone moving with fluidity and grace than it is with someone forcing or trying to survive a movement, pushing and forcing. Work with the forces of nature, work with the forces of gravity to create that smooth fluidity in your movement and your smooth fluidity in your breathing. So we're going to take our feet a little bit wider apart. So you're going to go about shoulder width apart. Bend the knees a little bit. Now when you're bending the knees, you can really ground yourself. So even just in this position, you can think about how you are strengthening the legs, heels into the ground. And we're just going to let the arms float upwards. So just to about chest height, and float down, and let the body move with that. So what you may notice is as the arms float down, the hips just glide back a little bit. And as the arms float up, the hips glide forwards. And the chest opens a little bit, the sternum lifts a little bit. So if you focus on the spine is created of individual vertebrae, all with space in between, all that can extend and flex and rotate. So it's designed like that because we want our spine to extend and flex and rotate. Because if it doesn't, then it becomes stiff and rigid. So we want some nice fluidity through the spine. Now let's coordinate the breathing. So again, easy breathing in and out through the nose. So as the arms flow up, the elbows are soft and you're breathing in. And as the arms float down, you're breathing out. And just allow that soft out, in and out breath through the nose. Breathing in. Keep it quiet. Keep it light. So no sound in the breath. If the hips are gliding back a little bit, you can breathe into the back of the body. So breathe into the back of the ribs, breathe into the kidneys as the arms float up. Feel the ribs expand. Breathe into the center of the body, but just natural, easy breathing. No force, no excess stress and strain. Really get into the flow of the movement, the rhythm of the movement, the rhythm of the breath. Breathing in. And breathing out. Slowing the breath, keeping it light, slow, and breathing deep into your center. If you feel comfortable, then just close your eyes. Or just keep your eyes open watching the screen, or just a soft gaze. If you close your eyes, you can really bring your attention into the body, how it feels, the feet connected to the ground, the strength through the legs, a subtle extension and flexion of the spine. Visualize each vertebra in the spine extending, lengthening, creating space between each vertebra. Elbows soft, wrists soft. And then just bring the arms down to the side. Bring your feet next to each other now. Pop your hands on your belly and just take a minute to feel, allow the body to move. There'll be a little bit of movement through the body, maybe forwards and backwards a little bit, side to side. Just go with that movement so that we're not creating a rigid, fixed posture. Posture is a strange word because we think of posture and quite often think, oh, I have to stand up tall or I have to stand up straight, and we create rigidity, or we engage the core and pull our bellies in, and then we're just actually tightening areas of the body that actually we need air and space and fluidity within those areas. So just tuning in again with the breath, deep into the body, deep into your center. Good. And then just step your feet out, just let your arms rest by the side. Find a comfortable seated position. So it can be on a chair or it can be on the floor. But we'll spend the next 5 to 7 minutes just in a comfortable seated posture. Take your time to get comfy. If you're sitting in a chair, really feel the feet connected to the ground. So you're really secure, you're grounded, you're stable, you're strong. You've got your sits bones stable, so you don't have to hold any tension to hold you up. Use the ground. Really connect to the ground. At the same time, lengthen the spine. So that idea of tall spine, but without creating any rigidity in the spine. Rest the hands however you feel comfortable. You can rest them in your lap, you can rest them in the knee. There's no particular, on the knees, there's no particular way that you need to rest the spine, rest the hands. Let the shoulders relax. Let the tongue just rest gently on the roof of the mouth. In Qigong, that connection, the tongue resting on the roof of the mouth, connects a circuit of energy, if you like, flowing through the body. The head is just balanced on top of the spine, so you might want to give it a little nod, which is quite nice to balance the head on top of the spine. Really soften and relax and let go. Again, you can close your eyes, or you can just keep that soft gaze ahead of you. And just bring your attention to the breath. So a really easy place to notice the breath is here in the front of the face, in that nasal cavity, because you can really sense that physical sensation as you breathe in. Slightly cooler air coming in through the nose. And as you breathe out, slightly warmer leaving. And again, we're not controlling, we're not guiding the breath at all, we're just allowing it to be, allowing it to happen. Your body's breathing what it needs in this resting posture at this moment in time, doing nothing. No sound, so stillness and quietness. See if you can keep the breathing so light that hardly any of those tiny little nasal hairs move in the nostrils as you breathe in and out. So I'm just going to give you some silence and stillness for the next 45 seconds or so. Smooth, fluid, light, easy, soft breathing. And now we're going to add a little bit of guidance. So the guidance is normal breath in, pause at the top of the breath. So it's almost like you imagine a swing. If you see a swing or a roller coaster, you get to the top, there's that little bit of suspension, then the breath is out. We get to the bottom, there's that little bit of suspension, the breath is in. So all I want you to do is follow that natural breath as it is now, but add a second, a couple of seconds, just add a control at the top and the bottom, just that extended pause, and it is minimal. It's not holding, it's not restricting, it's an extended pause and breathe out. And pause and breathe in. So let's have a little go at that. Again, just check in, move around a little bit if you're finding any tightness in the body. Head balanced on top of the spine. Jaw relaxed, shoulders relaxed, tongue just resting gently on the roof of the mouth. And again, I'll give you your own space. Enjoy that space. Enjoy the stillness in the pause. Keep it smooth breathing. So the art here is not to create any tension, is not to create any restriction. And now just for the final minute, what I'd like you to do is pause at the top for a second or so. Bottom, see if you can just extend that pause a little bit, again without creating stress. So maybe you're pausing for a couple of seconds at the top or even a second at the top. See if we can extend the pause after a natural out breath, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, maybe to 5 seconds, but without creating stress or tension. So just in your own time, after each individual breath. If the breath starts to get a little bit chaotic, just breathe easy, reset and come back to it. If you start to create tension or anxiety, breathe easy, reset and come back to it. Note if there's anywhere where you're creating any excess stress and strain or tension in the body. And just relax and release. Let's follow 2 more breaths. Doing exactly the same. A little bit of an extended pause on the top. See if you can extend it a little bit longer after that natural out breath. Good, and then just let your breathing settle naturally. If you had your eyes closed, just maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes a little bit. A little bit of a stretch if you need a stretch. Move around a little bit. Bring your attention back into the space where you are now. And we will finish there. Thanks very much for joining. Thanks for watching. Remember, I'll put this on the training portal. You can leave any comments, any suggestions on there, any feedback, and I will see you, as my knee cracked as I get up there, I will see you very soon. Thanks for your time, thanks for your attention, have a good day.